rising waves, to go with the flow or against it. You wrote the letter? You wanted me to come here? Yes, my child. I even wanted to go looking for you myself. But time is short, so I had no choice but to have a friend deliver that letter to Rhodes Island. Yes, Rhodes Island. That's what it was. And after the disaster, I heard that organization took you in. Have they been treating you well? They are my family. Dr. Kelsey, Amia, the doctor, Blaze, Radian, and everyone else in the squad. They're all my family. So you mean you found a new family? The frail man coughs violently, and his naturally crooked body seems to droop even lower. He stares at Rosemontis, as if wanting to go move to her, but a thin wall of water stops him in his tracks. Mulsis knows who he is, and so do you. This is the very name that cropped up many times in Rosemontis' files. The criminal that should have been well behind bars has suddenly appeared before you, acting as a grandparent rushing to visit his grandchild after work. You came alone. This is what I wanted. Nothing to do with anyone else. Let me get a good look at you. You've grown up, girl. Over the past 4 years. No. It should be 5 soon enough. I've thought of you so many times while we've been apart. Whenever I think about the time we were separated from each other, I just feel so sorry. I'm sorry that I couldn't protect you from them. Those mediocre hacks with their superficial goals. They destroyed the future we could have had together. A future? Were we supposed to live together? But I don't remember you. Should I have remembered this? I record everything I don't want to forget in my terminal. You've forgotten who I am? Have you lost all your memories? You've forgotten the wrongs I've done. Are you a bad man? Did you do something bad to me? That's not for me to answer, my child. It would make this meeting meaningless. Your memory loss. It should not have been an effect of the experiments. Could there have been another party? Melander. Or perhaps Ryan. Don't aim those eyes my way, Mr. Williams. I'm just a teensy-weensy director of ecological. Besides, even if the old goat was here, his precarious code of ethics wouldn't be any worse than yours, right? This has nothing to do with Essex. Rhodes Island. You wipe the girl's memories and manipulate her emotions. I won't dignify that with a response, dude. What the? Yes. You couldn't have done that. It was my work after all. I was so meticulous that no one could have possibly stripped away such an important part of her when her vitals were functioning normally. Oh. I see now. Was it me after all? Perhaps I couldn't make enough observations. Yes, we didn't have the luxury of time. The pressure of consciousness is honestly beyond anything a layman could comprehend. Or it could be that you passed your memories on to your sibling? I don't know how to answer you. There must be a way. Let me think. Any fragment of the incident is beyond meaningless, same as the records and data. They all belong in the garbage dump. But emotions, scents, shapes, oh yes, smells. That's it. Floral scent? This smells like crushed juice smeared on the walls and on my hands. No. Stop thinking about it. I don't want this. Yes, I knew it. I'm still somewhere in your memories. Please, child, bring out those memories. Remember your hatred for me. Let your anger fill your body, your mind, your omnipresent spirit. Stop. Get out of here. Hurting her? No. Her pain comes from the past, not the present. I only want to give her the gift that she's been longing for. This is not a gift. You actually understand her pain? Everything you know about her and her experiences is secondhand information from Maylander. Don't you think she has the right to be angry? To hold resentment? Oh, I know. Both you and the Maylander are walking the same path. You want her easy to control because you're afraid of her. Afraid of a weapon of reignited anger. Weapon. Everything you experienced with Rosemontis and Chernobog comes flooding back before your eyes. The fights, desperate with determination to live alongside the pain of farewells. Yes, you've heard the term used many a time in the past to describe the feline girl by your side. She felt it was harsh alone, but this time, it's unbearable. Because it came out of Lookin' Williams' mouth, the root cause that led Rosemontis here in the first place. You have many ideas on how to refute his claims. It also occurs to you that if Kelsey were here, she would be capable of coming up with an even more extensive response. But another thought comes to mind before your words. Kick him. I see you're outraged by my words. That's fine. You're not willing to think of her as a weapon. But just look at her. She's standing in front of you, even wielding a sword for you. Doctor, please get behind me. My sword might be able to pierce through the building's outer wall. Rosemontis, you... enemies. There are enemies closing in quickly. I will protect you, Doctor. My mind still feels like it's a mess. But Dr. Kelsey and Amiya told me that my mental state is a lot more stable now. They allowed me to protect you. And this is one thing I can definitely do. I know. Doctor of Rhodes Island. If you truly care for her, then you should know what she really needs. Just ask yourself this. What are you trying to protect? A soldier that would die for you? Or a child with a traumatic past? The question is not difficult to answer, but it is obvious that Loken is not interested in your reply. From the moment he stepped into the room, he has been staring directly at the white feline girl next to you, his turbid gaze full of enthusiasm, sorrow, and a certain kind of anticipation. They're here. Such a pity that this is the end of our meeting. You're not ready yet, my child. but I know you will be. I'll be waiting for you at home. Hold it. You actually caught up. No. You were waiting for me. Which one of you is your true self? The silent one in the room earlier? Or the one right here? That's not important. Your original marks are quite interesting. Or perhaps, no. Forget it. I don't have time for this curiosity. Do you have business with me, Director of Ryan Lab? Where's Kristen? Ah, but you're the Ryan one here. Are you sure you should be asking me that? The only way you could have gotten out of prison is with her help. Your being here means the work she entrusted you is already complete. She's done preparing, right? She's really planning to... Pitiful girl. Hey! I'm not about to let a rotten geezer who looks like he hasn't showered in 3 days call me pitiful. Astonished, unwilling, and anxious. You're afraid, little girl. You're afraid of being betrayed by those you trust, and of being abandoned by others. Well, the worst is your confusion. You're at much a complete loss that you have no choice but to ask an outsider like me. Such a familiar feeling it is. When my teacher handed all my research to Maylander. When he expelled me from the academy. When my students submitted all my data to the military before I did. And I had to speed up my experiments, leading to that ultimate failure. When my family sold everything we had in DC and disappeared. I saw that very same look in the mirror. My eye bags can't be that bad. I just don't get it. Why would she trust that wretched woman from Maylander? And you, over Saria or... Are you stalling for time here? If you're waiting for Hol Hayak to pick you up, I won't necessarily lose, you know. You don't want me for an enemy, girl. Huh? Do you really think you could stop Kristen and I just by catching up to me? Or maybe you want to catch me to catch Kristen? Musis falls into a daze. Loken turns his back, and yet she still doesn't act. Only when the familiar wind caresses her face so mockingly does she realize that Loken is no longer anywhere to be seen on the streets. I let him go. What am I doing? Yosas? Oh, doctor. I'm right here. Heard everything you said, crystal clear. Yes, sirree. Is your clone in danger? Clone. My... Yes. My clone is outside. Doctor? You guessed right. They couldn't have let such a terminally ill old man come here by himself. Before his assistants got him away, I only managed to get one thing. Loken Williams is definitely involved in Kristen's plans. That home Loken spoke of. The puzzle pieces are overlapping. And they're pointing right at Kristen Wright's hideout. Doctor? Your terminal? There's a new message? It's from Maylander. What a coinkydink. I was just wondering when we were gonna see the Tin Man again. You got roughed up by the army because of him, so it's only right that he should make it up to you. Isn't it? Rosemontis, are you ready to proceed with the mission? Yeah, I'm fine. Milsis? Huh? Thank you for helping Rosemontis. Our cooperation is far from over. So you're going to wear out those words if we keep standing on ceremony, you know? Doctor? Do you really trust me so much? What did you say? Nothing. Alright, let's get moving. Silence. Is the temperature okay? Not too hot? You're controlling it very well. Saria's body temperature has stabilized, and she should be out of danger. Ifrit, you should rest for a bit. Using original marks for a long time will wear you out. No, I'm staying with Saria. I still remember back in the White Room. She kept me company when I was stuck in that bed. I was always in pain. My mind was totally messed up, and I couldn't stop myself from burning everything I saw. I don't even have a clear picture of every visit. I just know that every time I opened my eyes, she would be there at my bedside, and I felt so relieved. So now I want to stay here and keep her company. Even though she won't open her eyes, I'm sure she can feel that I'm here. I'm sure she can. She just needs a bit more sleep. Something still feels off. What's wrong? I just realized Saria isn't that much taller than I am. And also, her palms are soft. With such pretty nails too. Just like your hands, Silence. Yes, Saria is, of course, an ordinary human. I'm afraid she's quite far from ordinary. Director Jara. She prefers to solve problems by herself, without a word. She always keeps a straight face that deters people from voicing their opinions. Would you like to make a guess just how many employees from Defense I had to offer psychological counseling year after year? Are you unhappy with Saria? Unhappy? One year I asked Kristen if she was set on transferring a researcher to make the head of the defense section. Guess what the woman there did when she found out? She threw 36 listening devices onto my desk and right in my face. Shattered them to pieces with her newly developed darts. An unfortunate thing, as a couple of them were operating on behalf of some of our dear government departments. They were just a little wary of such a rapidly progressing tech company. I was happy to share some controllable information with them to get them to ease up a little. I spent some time dealing with the trouble that came with the incident. But who could deny the determination and skill of the young Voiver? I guess. Saria has always been like that. Sure enough, many years have come and gone, and if you compare her then and now, it doesn't seem like there's been much development. She's the most resolute and determined woman I know. Whoever said she wasn't? I've watched she and Kristen walk their paths, and I'm well aware just how decisive and strong she is. But even such an outstanding individual can't stand against the whole damned country. If you let her take on these obstacles she hasn't overcome in all this time, she'll only be smashed to bits. Here, car keys. Take Saria and Ifrit and leave. before it's too late. Saria wouldn't want that. No, she wouldn't. But I'm not talking to Saria right now. Aren't you the type to go, innocent lives shouldn't be put at risk? This girl shouldn't be involved. And neither should you. No one needs to die here. I need a bit more time. Director Jara? I'm afraid we're all out of time. Take the secret passageway out. Now? What's wrong? An old friend has come knocking. This conference room. Whenever we had meetings, Parvis would sit by the window. Mulsis likes to sit in the middle. And you, Director Jara, you just sit here, furthest from Kristen. And you're the same as before, always standing behind somebody else's seat. How nostalgic. Would you like something to drink? Red wine? Or should we pop open the champagne? Is there an occasion? Of course, Mr. Ferdinand. Clooney is enjoying a career upgrade and also returned to Rhine Lab. Sounds like a cause for celebration. You think I'm here as the Army's guide? No. They have their own plans for Rhine. And I don't approve at all. Because I know that if something happens to the Vice President while he's here, that's the end of the company. Kristen can ignore the existence of Rhine Lab. But not me. The event today went off without a hitch. Don't play dumb with me, Jara. You may not know just what kind of people run the army. They could repeat today's adventure anytime they want. So before those savages rip a dozen years worth of time and effort to shreds, can you just tell me the truth? What exactly is Kristen doing? Did Colonel Blake not tell you? The very first day Dr. Wright disappeared, I handed every document about Control and her projects right over to them. And for the record, it happened more than once. I've worked days of overtime just for this. Dr. Wright. As if you two have the most ordinary collaborative relationship. Should I show Blake the picture hidden in the darkest corner of your office drawer? Or has our dear HR director already come up with an explanation for why she's hidden the New Year's card little Kristen wrote her 2 decades ago? That's just an old photo. Kids aren't as cute and well behaved after they grow up. Ferdinand, you know that better than me. That sock in the jaw at Site 359 still smarting? She's gone into hiding. Like a child clinging to her favorite toy. Except it's not a toy. It's a goddamn super weapon. With some real forbidden secrets behind it. So you should find and drag her out. If you still care about her. Or would you rather watch her die for the vaguest of ideals? Even if I couldn't bear to watch her go that far ahead. How do you suppose that stopping hers was in my power? This is Kristen we're talking about, Ferdinand. She'll take everything you have. Do you think she would ever leave such a major weakness? If you really want to treat the relationship between me and her as a vulnerability, so easily within your grasp? Good. Great. You refuse to cooperate. And what about the others? For example, Saria. You rescued her and you've hidden her somewhere around here. You're so willing to talk to me. Just to buy her more time to escape? Let's say she manages to escape. Who could she even go to? Rhodes Island caught up in the same mess? Or that group of Maylander agents who love spinning webs just as much as you do? I have no idea what you're talking about. The military just picked up a new piece of intelligence. Saria. As well as the company behind her, Rhodes Island. are suspected of helping Kristen steal classified information pertaining to national security. Maybe working at Ryan Lab for more than a decade has made you naive enough to assume your old boss was some hero of justice? He's really trying to sow like seeds of discord, huh? The usual stench of the sewers and spots where the light doesn't reach. These alleys are all the same. Urban planners probably can't afford to invent new ways to do their jobs at the speed these cities pop up out of the barren lands. It's just too bad that you miss out on the local scenery if you use these nooks and crannies too much. Am I right, my good subordinate? Isn't it better to get a view of the city from above? A gust of wind blows through the empty alley. All the unexhaled smoke rings swirl back into the cracks in his metal. The Tin Man wonders if this is the opportune time to hack a few coughs, as if choking. A lighter floats right in front of him as soon as the embers of his cigarettes die out. Banal is such a lamentable assessment for a city like this with no history. Hol Hayok. You were supposed to make contact 3 days ago. Oh. And I had the impression that you're not particularly punctual yourself. If you could just tone down your volume. Why did you pick this place for our meeting? Did you forget? The factory in District 13 is close by. Did you find the item the other day? Yes, but unfortunately there are only fragments left. Fragments of stars, with no way to guide the lost. And Kristen? Where is she? Well, are you watching the sky? You get a clearer view of the sky without the skyscrapers around. Do you think Kristen might be hiding up in a star up there? If so, then how are we supposed to find her? Oh, Hayok. You went into the library 2 months ago. I'm a historian. Isn't it basically my job to visit libraries? We're talking about Maylander's library here. I don't recall authorizing that. You know I can't contain my curiosity. Just like right now. If I could trouble my employer with a question that I've been awfully curious about. What is it? Your smoke. Other than the clouds you puff out, the few wisps that slip into your body. Where exactly do they go? Is this why you have the tip of your tail on my chest? I smell my favorite scent on you. History. So if it's at all possible, I'd love to get a good look at your every little piece of your body for my research. Where should I start? Your head? Chest? Extremities? Oh, hey, do you really think betraying the Maylander Foundation is the right choice here? Of course not. Maylander holds most of this country's secrets. And in Colombia, secrets can be traded for wealth or used as murder weapons. I spent 3 whole years before I managed to get into the Historical Society, and spent another 3 to gain your trust. Do you know what 6 years means to me? Being a Maylander agent has already taken 1/7 of my life. Then you shouldn't be wasting the rest of it behind bars or on the run. Yes, I know. And yet, If my time here isn't enough to embrace what I've been yearning for my whole life, then what difference does it make if I live another 10 years or one more minute? Maylander won't allow anyone, least of all a defected agent, to access information they shouldn't be accessing. A shame you only have me to see in your last moments. Then I can only pray to the stars that the dead won't speak so easily. Fine. Let me switch up the question. Do you really think you can kill me? I'll never know until I try. Your air manipulation shouldn't be affecting me. No. This isn't a Ulkan ability at all. You know me just so well, don't you? But fortunately, I'm not exactly clueless as to what you are. Ordinary arts have no effect on you, but a curse. The power of the oldest Sarkaz witchcraft. A soul-imprisoning curse. It's been an awfully long time since you've had a taste of something like this. That 1 year when a Maylander agent went deep into the Bleach Wasteland to investigate the ruins of the Sarkaz royal court and suffered an unprecedented, life-threatening injury. I didn't expect Maylander to leave those files intact. You can't have thought that I ventured into Maylander's top-secret database just for Kristen. I did remind him that documenting everything isn't necessarily a good habit to have. All the time. According to you, only the long-lived would have such an extensive memory, while the rest of us just want to grab as much knowledge as we can. So naturally, come up with different methods. Otherwise, how could we short-lived beings hope to resist the control of people like you? If you really want to destroy this body, you probably need a little more time. I have 2 minutes to spare, so you're not even going to come out of hiding to greet me. Banshee. Were you just talking about how unwilling you are to show yourself? Like I said, I have no interest in watching you murder your own boss. But he's more than just that. Oh? Old acquaintances, are you? Personally? Not at all. But my blood knows him. Fascinating. I've been over it many times, and this guy here doesn't smell Sarkaz. Be careful of any tricks he might play. I don't want him to resurrect right after all the trouble I've gone through to kill him. I won't let him interfere with the next step of the plan. I can't do it. A delicate trap you've laid, and I'd guessed that Hoel-Hayak might have planted something in the sky. But I didn't expect the Banshee's curse to be hidden in the noise of the construction site. My blood has taught me the power of words, and the sound of machinery clashing and colliding is the language I hear most. Amazing talent to have fooled even me. There are only a few Banshees, including those in the royal court, who could make me suffer like this. Were you born in Kazdel, or the Valley of the Banshees? It doesn't matter. My blood is not pure enough, and I haven't experienced any grand events either. Right now, I'm just an engineer living in Columbia doing whatever I want. Have you found the home in Columbia? What about you? So many years have passed by in a flash. I've heard that over the past 2 centuries, those two youths, Teresis and Teresa, have finally built Kazdel as a nomadic city. I don't even know myself what Kazdel looks like today. Are the streets still crowded? The flags hanging on the city walls unchanged for a millennium. The undying furnace in the core, still as hot as ever. You relight my cigarette, child. This little spark can't hold the remaining warmth of your soul. I know. I only want to stay a little longer. To ask you a few more questions. What did you see in Kristen's dreams? The future, as she actually promised you. A change to Sarkoz's fate. Do you believe she can do what no one has been able to accomplish over the past millennium? No. She only showed me a possibility. A possibility that came from within myself. Alright, engineer girl, if I could just trouble you to ask my darling employer if he has any last words. The fire is almost out. Time moves too fast for an old man like me. The last question is mine. An ancient one like you must have seen the fall of many Cosdels. And surely you must have thought of and searched for a place. Speaks in Sarkoz. Where is the Sarkoz promised land? Promised land. Time's up. A silvery green tail shatters the Tin Man's sigh with a strong burst of wind. The last spark fizzles out at the same time as the cigarette hits the ground. A bone whistle sounds. Trimounts has never heard such a sound. Neither the residents in their deep sleep or the office workers working overtime will be aware of what has just happened, other than those who've made an appointment. Rosmontis, did you hear that? Huh? Logos was too busy to come to Trimounts, right? My terminal says Logos has a lot to do. He hasn't trained with me for a long time, so I haven't been using my full strengths in my sessions. Don't make things hard for mechanists. I know. My devices are like Rhodes Island cabins. If they break down, it takes a long time for Mechanist Enclosure to fix them. Before we left the land ship, Radiant told me that Logos would come back with Amiya soon. I miss Amiya too. I miss her so much. Doctor, will we be able to see them after we finish this and return to Rhodes Island? I hope we can see them soon too. Doctor, did you make it there? I think the Tin Man should already be waiting for me. We'll go home soon. I promise. Oh, we're about to get ganked, huh? The alley is dark and silent, like an abyss. Something rolls out from the murky shadows. Perhaps it's due to the material hardness, but as it rubs against the ground, it eerily resembles a cog out of its wheel. A frightful rattle echoing through the darkness of the night. It rolls straight to the alleyway entrance, where light and darkness meet. It turns out to be a metal head. The upper half is usually obscured by a hat's brim, and the mouth on its lower half often has a cigarette exhaling rings of smoke, while spouting words that are at times perceptive and other times incongruous. But now there is no cigarette, no hat, no trench coat, or even the part that should be present past the neck. There is only a head. Tin Man, I would take it easy if I were you. After all, if you do make any moves, I can't guarantee your head won't end up rolling along with my old employers there. Oh, let's get to the point. Sure. Two things. It's time for Rhodes Island to end your excursion in Trimounts, and the other, as you've just seen, the leader of the Maylander agents, the Tin Man, has been murdered. We need a culprit. Should I feel honored? Your frailty certainly affects the credibility of the idea. But the mundanity and perfectly enigmatic vibes of Rhodes Island makes you an excellent target for melee in their investigations, even if just for a bit. You want to buy Kristen sometime? It won't do you any good to look for other secrets. Okay? I mean, it's not like I can run. Are you gonna try and call for help? You might want to lower your gaze. My tail won't exactly agree. I've had my eyes on you ever since you stepped into Tri-Mounts. At first, none of this had anything to do with you, or Rhodes Island at all. Even if you and Sari are moving the same direction, role-playing as heroic firefighters. Why haven't you dispatched a few more men? Like that good old mechanic to mop things up quickly. If you're not gonna talk, then why don't I tear your chest open and take a look at the secrets hiding inside? The silvery green Liberi approaches. Her plumage scrapes the fabric of your hood, emanating a soft but piercing sound. At first, I thought you were the same age as those other eccentric scientists, trying to find some sort of revelation about the future in Kristen's research. After all, we're such a silly species, aren't we? Limited lifespan and unlimited ambition. The moment we realize the limits of what we can accomplish in our short lives, we become willing to surrender our arrogance for just a moment and beg for a shortcut. But on you, I smell no trace of that desire. What do you dream of? And what of your past? I'm becoming very interested in you now, Doctor. But unfortunately, my colleagues are about to show. Hold your friend's hands in your hand. Hold your friend's head in your hands and enjoy a captivating session with Columbia's top agents. You might find yourself astonished. Think through some answers to my questions during your interrogation. I hope I didn't give you the chance to run. Wait. Why are you here? Did this hood ever come with a guarantee of who would be under it? A water clone. Ugh. Any more tricks up your sleeve, pathetic elf? Doesn't matter. Dr. Rain of Rhodes Island. We will see each other very soon. I guess that's why she couldn't smell anything off me. Doctor, there are a lot of people rushing towards that alley. Rhodes Island's been set up. It's a good thing you used your brains and borrowed my clone for the meeting. Otherwise, you would have fallen into that horrible woman's trap for real. She definitely left evidence implicating Rhodes Island. You heard everything she said over the comms, right? Did we make enemies of both melee and the military? I'm afraid so. You're not joking, are you? Doctor, if you and the Tin Man had any plans, now would be a good time to share them, you know? Your silence implies... Wait, Doctor, you can't mean that something really happened to that mega mysterious super agent in the trench coat with the tin can for a head? I heard a Banshee's bone whistle. That was a bone whistle? Wait, Banshee, you say? Of the Sarkos variety? Was it for Kristen? Did she... Musa suddenly falls silent. She looks up at the sky above Tri-Mounts. There is nothing up there besides thousands of stars. You cannot help but recall Hol Hayak's question from earlier. Why did you come to Tri-Mounts? What exactly is the dream that she's chasing? Quick! Silence! Over here! Oh, I leaked! This alarm. Did something happen to Director Jara? Silence. Are you okay? I'm fine. Saria. I hope you carry her. Her face is all sweaty. If Saria doesn't wake up now, they're gonna catch us. Don't push the blame onto Saria. But your face. You look like you're about to... I'm fine, Ifrit. I just happened to remember what happened earlier. I watched her fall in front of me. And my very first reaction was not worry or surprise, but regret. Because you were mad at her? Yes. If that really was the last conversation we ever had. I didn't want to think that I was blaming her. Actually, I don't know who else can hear me out. Then just patch things up. Huh? And then when Saria wakes up, you can go back together. How about it? She'll return here the moment she wakes up. That's the sort of woman she is. Fine. I think I get it. Neither of you is gonna go home, are you? That's right. Then why not work together? Work together? Yeah, Silence. Even though you got some new gear on, you're still a doctor. If you keep on running like this, you're gonna get hurt or even die. I know Saria's a great fighter. Even I've started to know that teamwork's important. And she still likes to work alone. If it weren't for us, Saria would be in an even worse state right now. Neither of you wanted me to tag along, but at the very least, you gotta promise me that you'll work with Saria. Otherwise, the two of you will worry about me and I'll worry about you guys too. Ifrit? Just say yes or no. I'll even behave and go back to the doctor. Just promise me. Some words are easier to say when you're on a team, right? Where did you learn all this? The doctor The doctor taught me all these people skills. I'll think about it. Great. Silence? What's that over there? A transmitter. That just appeared? It's all silvery and flowy. Really pretty. Don't touch it. Ifrit, that's very dangerous. Dangerous? No way. More than my flames? It's another product of Rhine experiments. For real? Then I'll burn it up. No, just wait and see. Don't be too quick to destroy it. A small lump of silvery substance gushes inside the test tube. Ever since it left Parvis's home, it has lingered without a target direction. As if it has lost its hub directive. As if its only mission is to lead her to Parvis. Professor Parvis never does anything without purpose. His appearance earlier couldn't have just been him wanting to chat with me. He deliberately led me to think he was the goal in this race for the transmitter. Could it be? The truth was never... Silence! The door's over here! Did someone spot us? Stand back with it. Calcification! Sorry, you're right! Great! But you're... I'm fine. You're not bluffing a doctor that easily. I'm just holding this door until it's safe enough for you to leave. QED. I'm perfectly fine. The military mechs are closing in on our position. This path is no longer safe. Director Jara, she wouldn't hand over the information that easily. And so, there's only one possibility remaining. 10 minutes. They should have run into Blake's people by now. The old Saria would probably stood a chance to escape unscathed. However, she's injured and carrying 2 extra burdens. Want to guess how long she can last in front of a fully armed special forces unit? Your phone is ringing, ma'am. It's me. Of course. I'm always willing to serve Columbia. Thank you for the advice. By now, you should be willing to believe me that I did try my best. I tried my hardest just to secure this opportunity to talk. If you had agreed with me earlier, then our defense director's life would be, at the very least, not be in danger. But you still sent them on that path. To that secret passage only known to Maylander agents. Sorry I might die because of you. And the next one to go may well be the one you're most concerned about. I'm hoping from the bottom of my heart that you think the question over. Where the hell is Kristen Wright? Kristen Wright. English hard. Director Jara. Works for Maylander? I investigated her 10 years ago and found nothing. It was only when the Tin Man showed up and I left Ryan Lab that I got more clues to confirm it. She's been at Ryan for a long time. She knew Kristen even before I did. Ifrit, attack the window on your left. Gotcha! It's so sturdy! The glass in the experimental labs is all reinforced, so ordinary impacts aren't going to be able to smash them. And if we break them now, we will attract the attention of the soldiers downstairs. We can use my fire to cut through the glass. I can control my flames already, so I'll be able to do it. The teacher mentioned this in my original arts class. Fire can be tempered, be silent, and become a quiet anger. Make my flames into a sword. Make my flames into a single thread. Yeah! It cracked. A little bit. You split the enamel. Sorry, just hold on a little longer. I'm halfway through. I can do it. Focus, Ifrit. Don't get distracted. When you were unconscious, Director Jara told me that there's no way you can fight against the entire country. So if it is as you say, that Maylander and military have some kind of agreement, then we truly are facing off the entire country right now. Yes. Your heart rate and body temperature are spiking near their limits. And you've only just woken up. Your body is taking a serious toll. Perhaps, Saria, you're at your limit. Silence. Jara modified your drone. I've seen the prototype blueprints. When did you... Its current load-bearing capacity is at least 2 adults for a short distance glide. Get out through the hole if it open, and the drone will be able to take you to the roof of the opposite building. You'll have to act fast. I'll wait for you to go over, then I'll exit through the store and divert the pursuers. The numbers are many, and I won't be able to fend them off for long. Saria. You still haven't given me an answer. Your inability to make a genuine stand against Ryan. Is it because deep in your bones, you've always been the same as them? The same as Control? Sorry, Silence. I thought it through, and I'm unable to give you a definite answer. If Kristen's experiment violates any laws that shouldn't have been broken, I will stop her. Just like all the wrongs Ryan has committed over the years, the wrong should be made right. For I've always believed that the stronger one is, the less rash they should be acting. But if I were to return to the past, back to when Kristen and I first met, when everything had yet to happen, I would not have stopped the Kristen then. I would not have stopped the birth of Ryan Lab. Yes. Even if I knew Ryan would create so much suffering in the future. Even if I could foresee the ambitions of Kristen, Parvis, and Ferdinand growing out of control, I would still stand with them. Saria, your answer might be even more definitive than you think. Silence! Saria, did you guys see that? I opened it! Go, Silence. If there's anything else you would like to know, we can wait until this is all over, and I'll tell you. Alright. Silence? Silence? Why are you spacing out? We gotta get moving. Poor Liberi. None of this has anything to do with you. What exactly is it that you want? Truth? Justice? Or peace? I will tell you what you want to know. And yet, even if you know it all, what can you do? This is not the answer I want. No. A drone's belt? Silence. What are you doing? The whirring of a drone starting up comes from behind. She just yeeted Saria out. The unreinforced door at the end of the corridor is about to melt under the impact of the energy weapon. Saria is suspended in midair, holding Ifrit in one arm, stretching the other out towards Silence, trying to grab her. But Silence doesn't return her grip and retraces the path she's taken in reverse. I should have talked with you sooner, Saria. I only just came to understand why I can't help but get mad at you. I thought it was from the falling out we had during the diabolic crisis, or that I'm dissatisfied with the way that you insist on shouldering everything yourself. But actually, the one I'm most annoyed with is myself. The blame I push onto you for not doing enough. It's only because I built a habit of depending on you. I had hoped you could change Control, just like I once hoped the professor could save Ifrit, that Control could change Ryan Lab. I had hoped every deadlock would be solved by someone stronger. I'm so weak, aren't I? On the one hand, I loathe the powerful figures that manipulate everything and treat innocent lives like expendable resources and numbers. On the other hand, I still pin my hopes for the future on people stronger in not just power, but also morality and empathy. Only now do I understand that no one can truly carry everything on their own, that it's beyond the capacity of a single individual. Everyone who has been willing to help me on the way here, Rhodes Island, Director Miosis, Director Jara, and you, all of you want me to stay out of it. If you hadn't collapsed in front of me, if Ifrit hadn't been in danger, I might have just obediently thrown in the towel. But now, I won't back down. I refuse to allow myself to stay under your wings. I refuse to accept that I can only stand in vain as the gunfire rings right above us, and open my arms to the injured. This time, I will step into the flames before any of you. The drone sends the two to a lower floor of the neighboring building. Saria smashes a window and they land smoothly. There must be more Ferdinand's people on the lookout downstairs. But as long as there's room for action, she believes she can find a way to break through the encirclement. However... Silence? What are you doing? Silence? Hurry up and fly here with your drone! Ifrit anxiously yells at the room across. But Silence takes a long look at them before turning her back. Just as Silence begins to turn, Saria gets a look at her eyes. They are brimming with regret. But more than that is determination. Ferdinand, we've got someone in the corridor. She says that she has business with you. Silence? Why are you... I'm sorry, Director Chara. I've made up my mind. I have unfinished business, so I can't leave just yet. I remember you. Parvis's stellar student. You and Elena gave me such a headache back at Site-359. Yes. My name is Silence. I would like to make a deal with you. A deal? Do you really think I would let Saria go? This isn't up to you. No. This is the only thing that's up to me. That's... transmitter from Site-359. What are you doing? Even if you put the transmitter into your body, it's not going to work. Dorothy's hub was destroyed. The new hub is in Kristen's hands. That's impossible. That was my experiment. Mine and Dorothy's. A short while ago, I met Dr. Parvis. His laboratory was storing a large amount of transmitter. Director Clooney, you must have realized it long ago. You just don't want to admit it. You would rather believe your failure was owed to a bad move than to believe that Control was playing you the whole time. Did you really never consider the possibility? She's the one that's working more closely with the military. She had countless ways to kill your experiment with Dorothy in its infancy. But then why did she only show up after your experiment succeeded? We still have a chance. Whatever Kristen is trying to do with Transmitter, she hasn't succeeded yet. Director Clooney, bring me to her. The transmitter is inside me. I'll become your beacon to locate Kristen. She gave herself up. Interesting. We'll see how that ends up playing out.